So it's a beautiful day here in England in the peak of summer, and I've just come out for my maiden voyage on the new bike. So I guess regular viewers would know that I had the Suzuki C50 for a long 11 years in total. Did so many videos on that, and I did love owning it, but then I saw a Triumph T120, and since then I just figured it was time to move on. Like, I don't want to have the same bike my whole life, and to be honest, I was craving a bit more power. So I looked at other bikes. I was kind of tempted by a Harley Fatboy, but I knew that would be even heavier than the Suzuki. Yes, it would have more torque and whatnot, but still not a fast or nimble bike. So yeah, I couldn't really find any alternatives. I did look at a Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, but looking at the performance specs of that, yes, it would be an upgrade to the C50, but not a massive leap. So long story short, here is the new ride. 2022 T120 in the colour I was looking for. Basically, I started looking for a T120 sometime around April, May. Couldn't really find any for the right price. They were mostly being sold by dealers, and a lot of them sold at Superbike Factory, which is a no-go. Never had a good experience with them. So I was looking to buy private, and this is what I got. It's absolutely mint. It's only done 4,000 miles. Just before I picked it up, there was a private sale. A really nice guy who had owned it for about a year, I think, and he was selling it because kind of personal reasons. I think he was doing some renovations, which is going to take up pretty much all of his time, and he has two other motorbikes anyway, and he just said he is not going to get the chance to ride it much for the next couple of years, so may as well let it go to someone who's going to use it. So yeah, I've spotted this on Facebook Marketplace. I had a search set up so I would get alerts whenever a T120 went live. I was also looking on eBay and Auto Trader, all the usual avenues, and I think I've spotted this on Facebook within an hour of him uploading it. It's the colour I wanted. I'm a sucker for blue. I feel like the T120 comes in some fairly bland colours, especially I guess you could call it the Gen 1, the up to 2021 bikes. The other kind of colour I did really like was the Diamond Edition, which it's kind of like a pearly white colour with a Union Jack in silver on the tank. That does look nice, but they're rare as fucking rocking horse shit. This colour is absolutely mint. I love it. So yeah, I messaged him, set up a viewing, and the deal was done. And I couldn't be happier. I've only done about 35 miles on it so far, and Jesus Christ, it's such a rush. Now, Superbike riders and sports bike riders will be like scoffing at the video, saying, yeah, it's not that much power, but compared to what I'm used to, it really is. If I remember right, it's double the horsepower and double the torque of my previous bike while being lighter, and Jesus Christ, you can really tell. I haven't even taken it out of rain mode yet because I wanted to get used to it. Sorry, I have to keep pausing the video because cars are coming past every now and then. Yeah, I wanted to get used to it because I've been accustomed to the cruiser seating position for so many years now. This kind of neutral sat upright position is completely alien to me. So for the first few miles I was like ghost shifting, trying to feel around for the heel shifter, because obviously the C50 had a heel and toe shifter, which obviously this one doesn't. So yeah, the whole seating position and everything, I feel like I'm already quite used to it actually. I thought it would take a good few rides to get acclimatized, but it's very comfortable, to be fair. For the first couple of miles I felt tension in my hands, but that's probably just nerves from gripping the grips too much. I won't go into too much comparison between this and my previous bike, because I might just do a separate video on that. I mean, anyone who knows anything about bikes is going to know how the handling is going to be different. Like with this bike, you kind of sat in the middle of it and higher up, so I've found the handling on it is no effort at all. Like you barely have to counter steer. You just kind of look where you want to go, and the bike seems to be doing it before you've even told it to, which I guess the shorter rake and everything all contributes to that, whereas the C50 you would have to initiate a turn by kind of counter steering, sometimes with quite a bit of pressure, and then the bike will lean over, and then it's kind of pretty easy to handle from there. This it all just kind of flows. It feels more like the bike is part of you. You kind of like in harmony more so than probably most cruisers out there, which again is all kind of common sense stuff really. I was a bit unsure about the kind of riding position, thinking it might be uncomfortable, but it's really not. If anything, this feels nicer on my back, because you kind of, it sorts your posture out. Like sitting kind of upright, but not like bolt upright. It just feels nicer on my back than the cruiser position where you kind of slouch forward. But yeah, that's enough about that. The only other thing I will say is the power. Jesus, the power on this is just immense. I don't even know the 0 to 60 time. I think I read somewhere it's about 2.9 seconds. All I can say is within like a gear change from like a standing start, I'm at license losing speeds faster than I've ever experienced before. I don't think there's much on the road on four wheels that would compete with it. Maybe a top end Tesla, but yeah, it's just crazy. And like I said, it's not even out of rain mode yet, because I want to get used to the handling and all that first. So because this is a 2022 bike, it came with the cruise control standard. They fixed some issues with the earlier T120s, mainly the kind of squeaky weird front brakes on the older bikes. There was a wiring harness issue on the older ones as well, which was corrected. They relocated the regulator as well to relieve tension on the wiring harness. I believe the wheels are a bit lighter and made out of alloy rather than steel, something like that. Anyway, there's a few other minor differences, but I don't think it really matters too much which year of T120 you get. I believe they started in 2016, as in like the modernized version, and they run to present day. In terms of mods, not the guy I bought it off, but I think the guy before him had a few mods put on. So the center stand he had put on at the dealership. These crash bars just here, I can't remember what brand they are. It might be Motone, something like that. What else did he put on? The dart screen, which is nice. I bet that's covered in bugs already. The headlight certainly is. So yeah, the screen, the dresser bars. There was a tank luggage rack, but I've taken that off because I don't really like carrying luggage on the tank. These panniers, these are the Triumph nylon panniers, which retail for about 280 quid, which I was kind of debating swapping those out for leather ones. But I might not, I'm not sure. They're kind of on the small side. They're 15 litres each. But I do quite like how the pinstripe here matches the seat. You get the comfort seat as standard, I believe, on the 2021 and up T120s, and it is super comfortable. He did also put on this sissy bar and luggage rack, which are 2 mods which I would have done anyway, just for extra carrying capacity. And I think that's it. No, he did put on this protective kind of sticker here, just to protect the brushed aluminium, but I've already marked the aluminium a bit there. But it's very easy to clean that. You just use like a scourer, a green scourer, scrub in the direction of the grain, and it comes up like new again. So yeah, that's essentially it. In terms of future mods, I'll put on some slip-ons. I quite like the British Custom Predators. There's a guy I'm talking to on Facebook who's selling his for a really good price, so that's what I'll go for, I think. Stock, it sounds nice, but it's very quiet. I noticed as I was riding, I couldn't hear the engine revs at all. It was pure just wind noise, which I'm not used to. I'm sure I could get used to it. Because the bike does have a tack on it, which my previous bike didn't have, so with that you were kind of forced to listen to the engine to know what it's doing, what kind of revs you were doing, which I could get used to, but I kind of do want more sound. Like, the actual sound itself is nice, it does have a nice tone, but it's just a bit too quiet. So yeah, some slip-ons are definitely in the pipeline. Possibly a front bash plate just to help protect the catalytic converter, which reminds me I might do a decat on it. I'm not sure yet, because these Euro 5 T120s is a bit more involved. You do have to drop both frame rails to access the cat. So it's, from what I've read, it's about a 3 to 5 hour job, which isn't really a big deal. I've got all the tools to do it. It's not complicated, it's just nuts and bolts really. So yeah, I may do that. Decat, pipes, bash plate, possibly swap the panniers for leather ones, and that's about it. Oh, I have ordered a USB, bar mounted USB. There's a USB under the seat, so you can run a cable up to it, but then you would just have a cable kind of hanging there, which would kind of look a bit tatty. So I've ordered like a clamped USB thing. I've also ordered a foam mount, basically a quad lock, because the foam mount I used on my previous bike is way too bulky for these bars. There's nowhere near as much real estate on these bars as my previous bike, so I've seen pictures of a quad lock mounted on these and it looks really neat, so that's what I'll go for, I think. So yeah, going forward the channel is obviously all going to be about the T120 in terms of like the motorbiking side of things. I'll still do mountain bike videos every now and then, but yeah, this I'll be doing like videos on maintenance and modifications, and just generally talking about the bike. But I'm 100% sure I made the right decision with this, because I've always loved retro looks. I'm definitely not like a sports bike rider or a sports bike fan. Everyone has their own taste, but to me they all kind of look the same and they just don't have much character. This is just kind of like a natural progression from what I had previously. It even kind of looks similar in ways, with the blue and kind of like the exposed engine and whatnot. I just love like the retro looks of it. Looks retro, but it's fully modernized. Other things I really like is it's arguably a safer bike to ride. Yes, it has double the power, but it also has ABS and traction control, which my previous bike had neither. So yeah, like you have your MPG readout instant and average, 2 trip meters, the clock, and think that's it. Oh, it does show you what gear you're in as well and which way you're indicating, which are all nice little quality of life features, all of which were kind of missing on the previous bike. The last bike, the C50, that went to a private buyer, and I'm sure he'll be really happy with it. I feel like it's going to take good care of that, so I was sad to see it go, but having ridden this, I made the right decision for sure. The power delivery on this is very smooth. It's not kind of snatchy. I'm sure you could get yourself in trouble if you weren't careful, but it's not snatchy at all. It's a very smooth kind of linear torque and power delivery. Granted, I'm saying all this based on rain mode. If I put it into road mode, it might get a bit more hairy, but that's why I'm going to kind of ease my way into it. So yeah, don't want this video to go on too long because I'm still out enjoying the bike. This was just a brief kind of show and tell for anyone interested in what I'm riding now. So yeah, I'm going to carry on riding today. Need to do a bit of shopping. I'll see how those panniers perform, and also I'll top it up with fuel and see what kind of MPG I get. I did reset the average MPG and I'm at 55 at the minute with a lot of mixed riding, so we'll see how that goes, but who really cares about MPG when you're motorbiking, do you know what I mean? Unless you ride purely to commute and save money. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and ride safe.